Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi al-Kareem. We begin as always by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sending salawat and salam upon our beloved Master Muhammad, his honorable companions, noble family, and those who tread the straight path. May Allah make us from them. Today, inshallah, we'll continue from Sunday where we discussed some of the etiquettes of reciting Qur'an as explained by Imam Ghazali rahimahullah in his kitab Ihya Ulumuddin. He then goes on to explain that one of the etiquettes of reciting Qur'an is that a person should cry, or a person should show his grief when he's reciting the Qur'an. That sadness should be there. But certain ayat would give that meaning of a person having to cry, speaking about punishment, speaking about the horrors of the Day of Judgment. But what about in general? Is a person supposed to always be grieved when they're reciting the Qur'an? No. So he quotes the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ لَمْ يَتَغَنَّ بِالْقُرْآنِ. That person is not from us who doesn't recite the Qur'an with a sweet tone. So basically the point is that we should try and recite the Qur'an with a sweet tone, try and recite it beautifully to the best of our ability. One of the other etiquettes is that when we recite one of the ayahs of sajda tilawah, make sure you do the sajda right there and then. If we're unable to, do it later, but don't delay in doing sajda of the sajda tilawah ayah. One of the other etiquettes he explains is that before reciting the Qur'an, begin with A'udhu billahi as-sami'il alimi minash shaitanir rajim. Or just as we know it, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. And this comes from the Qur'an. We're supposed to recite A'udhu billah before beginning the Qur'an. Imam Ghazali rahimahullah also explains that if you pass by an ayah of tasbih, then do the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do the takbir. If you pass by an ayah wherein there's a dua or there's istighfar, then do the dua as well and do istighfar as well. If you recite an ayah that it contains something which is supposed to be sought or supposed to be yearned for, then express that yearning by asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. Something that it's scary or it's frightening, then ista'adha, ask protection from Allah for that thing. One of the other etiquettes is reciting the Qur'an slightly loudly or in an audible tone. And the bare minimum that a person can, the voice that he can read in is loud enough for himself to hear it. If he can't listen to it himself, then according to some fuqaha, the qira'ah isn't even valid in the salah. Now, what if you're reading loud enough but there are people around you that they can hear you? Then is this good or is this bad? So you can look at it from both angles, that in a way you're beautifying the Qur'an, you're enhancing the recitation of the Qur'an, and you're encouraging other people to listen or to recite better as well. Or if a person has that fear that, I might be doing it to impress other people, or it could be a tinge of riyah in there, then a person should just continue correcting their intentions and keep going. Because the more you recite the Qur'an and the louder it is, then not too loud obviously, but if it's in an audible tone close to a person can hear, then it has that effect from a spiritual point of view. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq to recite the Qur'an with all the proper etiquettes. Ameen. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين.